October 11, 1969. The Zodiac crosses the Bay Bridge into San Francisco's heart, trading rural lovers' lanes for urban grit. It's a Friday night in upscale Presidio Heights, around 9:55 p.m. Paul Lee Stein, 29, a married cab driver and recent University of San Francisco grad, picks up a fare near Geary and Maple Streets. Polite passenger, white male, 40s, glasses, buttoned-up shirt. Paul radios dispatch the pickup. Routine night. The cab weaves to Washington and Cherry Streets, a quiet residential corner under street lamps. The killer, stocky, unassuming, pulls a .22 or 9mm pistol from his jacket. Point-blank execution. One shot through the driver's side window, right temple. Paul's head explodes in gore. He slumps dead over the wheel, blood spraying the interior. The assassin calmly reaches in, wipes fingerprints from the door handle, grabs Paul's wallet and a bloody shirt swatch as a trophy. He tears off a chunk of the map from the cab's clipboard. Why? Meticulous. Across the street, in a second-floor window, two teenage girls, 5'6" and glasses-wearing suspect, spot the chaos. They call police. Man in bloody cab. Minutes later, patrol cars swarm. SFPD seals the scene. No passenger door opened. Kill from outside. Ballistics shift. Possibly 9mm, not the .22 from Vallejo. Composite sketch emerges. Heavyset white male, 35 to 45, short hair, glasses, fleeing east on Jackson toward Maple. Footprints? Wingwalker size 10.5 shoes, echoing earlier crimes. Panic hits the city. SFPD hunts house to house. A patrol car misses the killer by blocks. He slips into the fog. Zodiac strikes again October 13. Letters to Chronicle, with Stein's bloody shirt scrap. Schoolchildren make nice targets. He threatens detailing the hit. I was in the cab when the cops arrived. They didn't even look at me. Mockery pure. Claims Paul is victim number 7, tally rising. This urban pivot terrifies. No more isolated spots. Downtown cabs fair game. SFPD overwhelmed. Sketch plastered everywhere. Witnesses describe calm exit, blending into the night. Motive? Thrill kill, no robbery gain. Links to prior? Ammo debate but shoe prints match. Zodiac evolves. Bolder, city savvy, media puppet master. San Francisco locks down. Tips flood in. The shirt's fibers, postmarks, clues galore, but he vanishes. From suburbs to skyscrapers, the monster claims the bay. Cops form task forces. Public paranoia peaks. Was this practice for mass terror? The bridge crossed. Zodiac owns the fog city.
The Zodiac's reign of terror wasn't confined to bullets. His real weapon was the U.S. Postal Service, turning mailboxes into megaphones for madness. After Paul Stein's execution, the letters exploded like shrapnel. Dozens arrived at the San Francisco Chronicle, taunting Inspector David Toshi and the world. Each postmarked from the Bay Area, handwritten in block letters, signed with that chilling crosshair. He wasn't just killing, he was directing the show. First, the button letter in November 1969, a Halloween card with a melted button symbol, his Z, and a diagram of a homemade bomb, detailed enough to scare engineers. This is the Zodiac speaking. By the way, school children make nice targets. He bragged about Stein, enclosed more bloody shirt scraps for proof. Cops authenticated via fibers, but the threats? Real. SFPD bomb squad on edge. Public hysteria peaks. Then came the Ciphers, mind games for eternity. The Z340, a 340-character beast mailed April 20, 1970, mocked prior solves. Gas and cigarettes are going up, so is the Zodiac. Diagonal symbols, uncrackable for decades, promising my identity if decoded. Another, the Z13, my name is Cipher, teased a reveal, but baffled cryptographers. Dripping pen card 1970, a greeting card with ink blood spelling slaves for his afterlife harem, claiming Cecilia Shepard's death at Lake Berryessa. More on her soon. Paradise shall be mine, he misspelled, blending sci-fi cults with megalomania. Claims piled up, 37 victims total, cops verified 5. Letters like the Mikado excerpt twisted opera into murder boasts. He demanded airtime on Howard Finger's radio show, sent map coordinates for a bomb, a hoax but paralyzing. Symbolism everywhere. Cross circle is button, radiant symbol for kills, buttons from slaves' clothes in his fantasy empire. Police chased phantoms, handwriting analysis inconclusive, postmarks spanned cities. Task force grew, but coordination lagged. Vallejo, Napa, SFPD silos. Media lapped it up. Chronicles Paul Avery obsessed, wearing a Zodiac button in defiance. Public decoded fakes, fear fermented. Zodiac thrived on chaos, each letter a psychological nuke, turning victims into spectacle.
As Zodiac's letters piled up, cops wondered, did the monster strike before Vallejo's fog? Enter Sherry Jo Bates, 18, a college freshman with a bright smile and endless curiosity. October 30, 1966, Halloween Eve in Riverside, Southern California, far from the Bay. Sherry leaves the Riverside City College library around 10 p.m. after studying. Her yellow VW Beetle parked nearby, engine sabotaged, distributor wire yanked, timing belt cut. Stranded in the dark lot, she vanishes. Her body found next morning, 100 yards away in an orange grove. Throat slashed ear to ear, skull fractured by a blunt tool, stabbed 14 times in the chest and face. Ferocious overkill. No sexual assault, purse untouched. Library staff heard an idling engine earlier. A man in a parka approached Sherry, offering help with her car. Witnesses? A tan or gold Corvair fleeing. Timex watch nearby, size 10.5 shoe prints, wingwalker style, echoing Zodiac's later treads. Then the letters. November 29, 1966. The confession typed to police and newspapers. She was young and pretty, it taunts, detailing the kill. Bitch died hard. Demands publication or more murders. Handwriting? Block style like Zodiac's. Riverside PD links it to a desktop confession poem found in the library. Cryptic, vengeful. 1967 desktop cipher, 340 symbols, eerily similar to Zodiac's Z340. Fast forward, 1970, Zodiac claims Sherry as victim number 9 in a letter, sending Riverside PD a taunt. Ammo? Not directly linked, but methods scream overlap. Throat cuts prefigure Lake Berryessa. Typewriter? IBM Selectric traces debated. Was Zodiac a SoCal transplant roaming north, or copycat inspired by news? Donna Lass, 25, adds chills. September 1970, Labor Day weekend, South Lake Tahoe. Cocktail waitress at Sahara Casino, she vanishes after work. No body, but Zodiac's postcard, Sierra Club card, taunts. Lake Tahoe coordinates, her as number 6. Employer got creepy calls, sketch matches. Disappearance timing, post-Berryessa, pre-silence. Debate rages. Forensics, partial. DNA too degraded. Sherry's case cooled, reopened in 70s on Zodiac suspicion. Riverside detectives, strong links. Skeptics, geography, timeline. Did he test waters in 66, refine in NorCal, or red herring? These shadows expand his reign. Early kills, hidden victims. Bay Area Task Force eyes SoCal files. Terror stretches coast to coast. By 1970, the Zodiac had the Bay Area in a stranglehold, bodies piling, letters flooding, ciphers mocking. Law enforcement couldn't ignore it anymore. Enter the task force, a ragtag alliance of SFPD, Vallejo PD, Napa County sheriffs, Solano deputies, and FBI liaisons. Inspector David Toshi and Bill Armstrong lead SFPD's charge, chain-smoking through sleepless nights at the Hall of Justice.
Napa's Jack Mullanax pores over Lake Berryessa files. 100 strong at peak, but unity? A pipe dream. Evidence mounted like a house of cards. Fingerprints from Stein's cab, bloody, partial, no matches in databases. 8 lifted, chased against 2,500 suspects. Wingwalker shoe prints, size 10.5 at Berryessa and Stein. Rare military surplus treads, but thousands sold. Ballistics obsessed. 22 Super X hollow points from Vallejo kills, possibly 9mm at Stein. Rifling marks screamed one gun, but destroyed weapons haunted leads. Paint scraps from Berryessa. Killer's car? Blue-green, pre-1963 Chevy or Ford. The Lake Berryessa attack, September 1969. Zodiac in hooded costume, knife to Cecilia Shepard's throat. She dies. Boyfriend Brian Hartnell survives, etched with crosshair scars. Knife wounds, hood stitching, custom terror. Letters authenticated via postmarks, San Francisco hubs, ink, blue ballpoint, paper traces. Handwriting, block capitals, inconsistent. Expert Paul Lindblom chased forgeries. But dead ends defined the hunt. No witness nailed him. Composites varied, crew cut or balding. Polygraphs on suspects flunked or passed ambiguously. Coordination crumbled. Agencies hoarded files, jealous turf wars. Vallejo clashed with SFPD, Napa isolated. FBI's behavioral science unit profiled. Organized, intelligent, local, seeking control. Over 400 leads vetted. Teachers, cabbies, vets, no breaks. Public tips? Thousands, from psychics to cranks. Media leaks torpedoed ops. Toshi's forged letter scandal, not him, eroded trust. Budget strained, morale tanked. Detectives burned out. Zodiac's taunts like "you won't catch me," prophetic. Tech lagged. No DNA yet. Partial profiles decades off. He slipped through cracks, postmarks teasing, shoe prints fading. The task force symbolized hope and failure. Siloed intel, bureaucratic hell, Killer thrived on disarray. By 74, it splintered, cold cases filed. Yet clues endured. That print, that shoe, that ammo. A phantom outsmarted the system, but cracks lingered, waiting for modern eyes.
In the Zodiac saga, one name looms largest: Arthur Lee Allen. Not a phantom, but flesh-and-blood enigma from Vallejo, fingered by tipster Don Chaney in 1971. Allen, 35 at the crime's peak, was a burly ex-teacher and machinist, 5'11", 200-plus pounds, crew-cut, glasses, mirroring sketches like a distorted mirror. Fired from teaching for child molestation whispers, he lived quietly on disability, but darkness lurked beneath. Chaney, Allen's friend, dropped the bomb. Pre-1969, Allen ranted about killing couples on lovers' lanes, tallying "slaves for the afterlife," Zodiac's exact phrase. He owned a Zodiac Seawolf watch with crosshair logo, rare in the 60s. Car? Blue-green 59 Valiant. Paint matching Berryessa scraps. Home searches? 71 and 75. .22 caliber ammo, destroyed guns perhaps, knife collections, bomb-making manuals echoing Zodiac diagrams. Typewriter? IBM Selectric, potential match for confession letters. Even Wingwalker shoes in his size. Allen talked murders casually. New Stein details pre-publication. Friend Dave Toshi linked? No. Wait, Inspector Toshi chased him hard. Polygraphs? Allen took 3. One passed, others inconclusive, due to his calm, pathological lying. Handwriting? Experts said no, but block style adaptable. Fingerprints? Palm print from Stein cab? No match, but partials debated. Graysmith's book Zodiac canonized Allen. Searched properties yielded bloody knives, maps marked kills. He wrote prison letters post-arrests, unrelated, mimicking Zodiac taunts. Alibi for Berryessa? Shaky. Claimed phishing, no proof. Mike Majau ID'd him in a lineup. That's him. Darlene Farron's sister? Alan stalked her. Yet DNA? Partial profiles from stamps excluded him in 2002 via GED match tech. Mitochondrial mismatch, but stamps licked by accomplices? Theories persist. Alan died of heart attack, 1992, protesting innocence to the end. No confession, but whispers. He toyed with cops, relished suspicion. Was he Zodiac, frustrated egoist, or red herring? Evidence tantalizing, never conclusive. Task force obsessed, Gray Smith staked a career. Alan embodied the hunt's torment. So close, yet untouchable. Phantom or patsy? The watch ticks on.
Arthur Lee Allen dominated headlines, but Zodiac hunters never stopped digging. Dozens of suspects shadowed the case, each with tantalizing ties, none with the smoking gun. Enter Lawrence Kane, Darlene Farron's co-worker at the car dealership. Tall, glasses-wearing ex-Marine, Kane matched composites eerily. Darlene confided in friends about a stalker. Kane's wife alleged he followed her. Post-murder, he moved to SoCal, timing suspicious. Handwriting samples? Zodiac-like blocks. Alibi for Blue Rock? Shaky, claimed elsewhere unverified. Lake Berryessa witness ID'd him tentatively. But DNA? Partial profiles from letters didn't match. Polygraphs passed. Kane died in 2010, whispers of guilt lingering. Did jealousy fuel the shot? Then Rick Marshall, Vallejo hobby shop owner, Ciphers Central. Amateur radio nut with darkroom, printing press, tools for forgeries, ciphers. Friend recalled him ranting about killing couples, owning 22 weapons. Sketch resemblance? Stocky build. Home rated, bomb parts mirroring Zodiac diagrams, military surplus shoes. But timeline, Marshall alibied for Stein via customers. Handwriting, no-go. Died 2001. Graysmith eyed him as possible accomplice to Allen. Evidence? Circumstantial smoke, no fire. 2021 bombshell. FBI whispers, later walked back, on Gary Francis Post, Air Force vet from Groveland. Case Breakers team claimed DNA from scars or letters matched partial profiles, throat slashes echoing Bates, Berryessa. Post, deceased 2018, had cipher anagrams spelling his name, debated stretch. Military tats, violent history, Bay Area ties via service. But FBI, no identified suspect. Official silence, GED match hits contested, contamination? Post-fueled online frenzy, yet unproven. Others haunted files, Bruce Davis, Manson tie, rejected. Richard Gaikowski, editor, voice print theories, even Ted Kaczynski whispers. Dozens vetted, polyfails, sketch matches, odd alibis. Comparisons? Allen's watch versus Kane's stalking, Post's DNA versus Marshall's tools. No convictions. Evidence silos persisted. Modern GEDNA, isotopes trace origins. Bay local? Each suspect a puzzle piece, fitting loosely. Who was the real phantom? Stalker, vet, or tinkerer? The hunt exposed cracks, bias, hoaxes, endless maybes. Zodiac laughed from the grave of leads. For 51 years, the Zodiac's Z340 cipher mocked the world. A 17 by 20 grid of twisted symbols mailed April 1970 to the Chronicle, defying codebreakers from NSA to amateurs. "I am not afraid," it taunted, "of the gas chamber, because it will send me to paradise all the sooner." Unlike the solved 408, this beast resisted, diagonal reads, homophonic tricks, red herrings galore. Zodiac promised identity clues. Experts called it unbreakable. Enter December 2020. A pandemic-fueled breakthrough by software developer David Orenchak, with help from Sam Blake and Jarl Van Eyck. Orenchak, a hobbyist cryptographer, obsessed for years. Using AZ Decrypt software, he tested thousands of configurations, reading not row by row, but diagonally, with a 19-symbol shift inspired by 408 patterns. On December 5, FBI confirmed, cracked. The plain text, raw and Zodiac-esque. I hope you are having lots of fun and trying to catch me. I am not afraid of the gas chamber because it will send me to paradise all the sooner. Because I now have enough slaves to work for me. My name is Her 404, Man. Gibberish. No full name, trail ends in errors, deliberate or sloppy. But revelations? Reinforced slaves motif. Gas chamber defiance. Nod to California's penalty. Mocking cops' futility. Trying to catch me echoes ego. Paradise misspelling, signature. Not a location cipher, but psychological jab. Zodiac gloating mid-rain. Implications rocked the case. Timeline. Mailed post-Berryessa, pre-silence. Hinting activity peak. Motif consistency. Afterlife empire. Fearlessness. Suspect shakeup. Allen's exclusion held, but posts slaves rants scrutinized. Orenchak's method revived Z13, my name is, hopes. Partial solves teased but stalled. FBI, SFPD reignited. Partial DNA from stamps and letters retested via GED match. Isotopes for geographic ties. Public frenzy. Online sleuths hunt anagrams. Robert Emmett the Killer. Debunked. Stretch from earlier ciphers. The solve humanized the monster. Capable but fallible. Cipher errors showing haste. No identity slam dunk, yet proof he toyed eternally. Case breathed life. Modern tools versus analog evil. Did it point to a team? Or lone genius slipping? Z340's ghost lifted, but shadows deepened. Zodiac's secrets cracked. One layer peeled.
By 1974, Zodiac's confirmed kills stalled at 5, letters thinning like his trail. But did the monster truly vanish in 1970 or morph into myth? Last authenticated missive? The Exorcist letter, January 1974, to Chronicles Paul Avery. Typed threats of movie theater bombs, signed Crosshair. Ink, paper matched priors. Then Red Phantom card, June 1974. Dripping symbols claiming more slaves, coordinates teased. June 26, 1978. A Zodiac letter with attack details, but handwriting waivers, hoax suspected. SFPD authenticated few post-1974. Fakes flooded, from pranksters to glory seekers, muddying waters. Sherry Joe Bates haunted Redux. 1970 Zodiac letter explicitly claimed her Riverside slaughter as number 9, detailing stabs only killer knew. Riverside PD linked via cipher parallels, but DNA gaps persisted. Donna Lass's 1970 Tahoe vanishing. Zodiac's Sierra Club postcard mocked with lake refs, her as slave number 6. No body, but employer tips, stalker calls, sketch fits. Other whispers? 1970s Bay attacks, couples knifed, cabbies shot, ballistics teased but debunked. Red Phantom letters 1975 to 78, partial matches but FBI-eyed forgeries. Theories swirled in silence's void. Died young, heart issues, accident, no John Doe fits. Jailed under alias, incarcerated killers confessed fakes. Psychological burnout, ego sated, thrill faded, or evolved. Copycats inspired, or accomplice took reins. Post-Allen searches yielded nada. Modern gDNA scanned prison samples, empty. Hoax epidemic peaked 78. Task force drowned, declared dormancy. Yet echoes lingered. 1990s letters debunked. 2000 stamps retested. Partial male DNA, smoker traces unmatched. Was 1970 pivot real or stealth mode? Bates' last bolstered 37 claim. Silence screamed strategy. Public obsessed. Films, books fueled phantoms. Zodiac didn't stop. He weaponized absence, letting fear ferment. Confirmed end, elusive as his face.
So why did the Zodiac seemingly slam the door in 1970? After 5 confirmed kills, ciphers cracked open, and letters taunting the world, his trail goes cold. Last verified strike at Lake Berryessa, September 69, authenticated mail trickling the 74. Theories collide like bay fog. Did age catch up? Prime suspect Arthur Lee Allen hit 40s by then, health failing, heart issues by 92 death. Or the Phantom himself, mid-30s and 69, perhaps burned out, thrill dulled by media saturation and task force heat. Psychological pivot, Evo-fed, slaves empire complete in delusion, no need for more blood. Incarceration whispers, jailed wrong name for unrelated crimes, prison confessions poured in, all fakes. Accident or illness? Unclaimed John Does scanned, no DNA hits. Evolved tactics? Went underground, copycats carrying torch, or duo dissolved? Allen and accomplice split? Z340's 2020 crack revealed no fear of gas chamber, hinting confidence in escape, but errors showed sloppiness creeping in. Motive shift? From thrill kills to pure infamy, sated by headlines? Modern forensics tantalize resolution. Partial DNA from licked stamps, male smoker profile, GED match hunts yield no slam dunks. Allen excluded, Poste contested. Isotope analysis, Bay Area local, sediments in shoes. SFPD case active, cold but breathing. 2021 FBI teases, retracts. Oranchak solve reignites hope. Yet bureaucracy, degraded evidence block closure. Sherry Joe Bates, Donna Lass, ghost victims bloating his 37 tally, demanding justice. Did he stop or adapt into America's boogeyman? A master manipulator weaponizing silence, letting podcasts, films immortalize him. No confession, no grave marked Zodiac. The wound festers, families grieve, detectives retire haunted. He won by evading, challenging us to ponder. Lurking still? Politically incorrect truth, some monsters fade not from virtue but boredom or decay. Vigilance endures. One break, a DNA cousin, forgotten letter, could end it. The Zodiac file, open, bleeding into eternity. Who was he? Why then? The fog hides, but we hunt.
Imagine this. It's a crisp December evening in 1968, the kind where the fog rolls thick over the hills of Northern California like a shroud. Young love is in the air, but so is something far deadlier. David Arthur Faraday, just 17, a bright high school senior with dreams of engineering school. Beside him in the front seat of his mother's Rambler station wagon, Betty Lou Jensen, 16, bubbly and full of life, her future stretching out like the endless Pacific horizon. They'd been dating for months, stealing moments away from the watchful eyes of parents and the mundane routines of Vallejo suburbia. It's December 20th, around 11 p.m. They're parked on Lake Herman Road, a secluded lover's lane off Benjamin Drive, just outside Vallejo in Solano County. The spot's notorious among teens, a dark, winding stretch flanked by vineyards and empty fields, perfect for stargazing or privacy. The air's chilly, maybe 45 degrees. Headlights off, radio humming softly. David's got his arm around Betty Lou. They're talking, laughing, lost in that innocent bubble of youth. But out there in the blackness, something, or someone, is watching. A single figure approaches on foot, silent as death. No car lights, no warning. He's armed with a semi-automatic .22 caliber pistol loaded with lethal intent. The first shot rings out like thunder in the quiet night. David's head snaps back, a fatal wound to his temple. He slumps over the wheel, dead instantly. Betty Lou screams, bolts from the passenger door, her heels sinking into the muddy gravel as she runs for her life, heart pounding, legs pumping in blind terror. The killer doesn't hesitate. He steps out, methodically firing 5 more rounds into her back as she flees just 30 feet away. She collapses in a heap, blood soaking the earth, her final breaths ragged gasps under the starry sky. It's over in seconds. No robbery, no sexual assault, no screams for help heard by passers-by. Just pure, cold execution. A few minutes later, a driver passes by, Stella and her boyfriend, and notices the idling car with its door ajar, lights off, eerie silence. They stop, find the bodies. Panic sets in. They flag down a deputy. Solano County Sheriff's Office arrives, lights flashing, radios crackling. Crime scene. 9.22 shell casings scattered like deadly confetti. The killer's footprints? None clear in the damp soil. He vanished into the fog, back to whatever hell he crawled from. This wasn't a crime of passion or gang violence. It was calculated, random. 2 kids gunned down for sport. Vallejo wakes to horror headlines. Teen sweethearts slain in Lover's Lane. Rumors swirl. Is it a roving madman? Copycat of other unsolves? Police canvass, interview classmates, chase tire tracks leading nowhere. Autopsies confirm. Close-range shots, professional hits. The .22 Super X ammo, rare and traceable, becomes a haunting clue. Little did they know, this was no isolated tragedy. It was the bloody debut of the Zodiac Killer, a phantom who would terrorize the Bay Area, taunt cops with ciphers, and claim an afterlife empire of slaves. But back then, in the shadow of Christmas lights, it was just unimaginable evil striking first. Did the Zodiac choose this spot for its isolation, testing his nerves? Or was it personal, a grudge against youth? The fog hides the answers. For now. Next, the 4th of July turns to massacre at Blue Rock Springs. The killer calls the cops himself.